Are you or someone you know suffering from diabetes? Welcome to this week's edition of the Gardener's Corner. I'm Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent for the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. And I'm here to talk to you about diabetes because we've got a diabetes management program coming up in a few weeks, and we still have a couple of spots available. Before I talk about that, I want to talk about what diabetes is. And it's a problem with your body that causes your blood sugar, your glucose levels to rise. And this can also be known as hyperglycemia. What happens is normally we eat food and your body will break that down into glucose or into sugar, and that sugar is in your blood. Well, normally, if your body's working the way it's supposed to be, it's releasing or creating insulin. And that insulin helps move that glucose or that sugar out of your blood into your cells in your body so that it can be used for energy. You know, um, with carbohydrates should be one of our main sources of food. It should be about 40 to 60% of your daily intake because carbs have that glucose. So a lot of individuals, maybe if you're on a low carb diet, you might feel a little less energetic or worn down or whatever else. So carbs and sugar in this particular form that I'm talking about, it's not bad for you as long as your body is doing what it needs to be doing and helping move that sugar out of your blood into the cells for energy. Now, we're not always eating the right types of food. We're getting highly processed foods that have a lot more sugar than some of the other things maybe we grew up eating. So there is a different type of, carbohydrates as well. You can eat fruit and that's a carbohydrate and it's going to have sugar in it. Or you can eat a donut and that's going to have sugar in it. It's going to probably have a lot more sugar in it, as well as you're not going to get any of the vitamins and the nutrients that you're going to get with the fruit. So I'm not saying sugar is good or anything like that. But a lot of people who have diabetes, they're having a problem. Their body is not producing insulin in the same way, or it's not producing it enough, or it's not just using it properly. There's a couple of different things that could be causing that. Your pancreas is making, insulin. And over time, your pancreas can't keep up with how much insulin it needs to make because you keep throwing so much sugar at it. And so eventually that sugar or that blood glucose, instead of it leaving your blood and going throughout the into the cells, into the rest of your body, it can't do that. And that sugar ends up staying in the blood because your body can't produce enough insulin because you're giving it too much sugar and it can't work that hard, or it just gives up because it can never, meet that demand of it. And you get maybe what's known as prediabetes or borderline diabetes, whichever your doctor refers to it as they notice your blood sugar just going up. When it hits the level of diabetes, and sometimes even before, your doctors might prescribe certain medications. But unfortunately, diabetes is one of those things that it can affect you from your head to your toes, and it can truly ravage your body and do a lot of damage with a lot of other parts and organs and cause a lot of other issues. For example, people who have diabetes are more at risk for heart disease. And in fact, if you have diabetes, you're twice as likely to die from heart disease than you were before. Again, there's a lot of different factors that come into why people are getting diabetes, or maybe more people. There is some of that risk comes from your genetics, your family history. Um, but at the same time, that's just a small percentage of it. About two-thirds of chronic illnesses can be prevented or at least delayed there. So you can't change, your age and your race and your ethnicity and your genetics and your family history, but you can do a lot about your lifestyle. And your lifestyle is the other like 70% that you can do something about to reduce your risk of getting diabetes. Whether you are overweight or obesity, plays a factor in it. Whether you smoke plays a factor in it. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of these things make you more at risk for diabetes. So just focusing or improving one of those things. Now, I'm not talking even about huge, drastic changes. In one of our programs that we do, we encourage individuals to lose 5 to 7% of their body weight. So for someone who's 200 pounds, 5% is 10 pounds. It's not, you're like, oh, you have to lose a whole person or anything like that. And small little changes can help you lose that 10 pounds. Just a little bit more exercise, more water, making healthier food choices, watching your portion size, eating out less, often, or eating just less processed food. Some people don't eat out a lot, but they still eat a lot of highly processed foods at the grocery store there. Planning your meals might help with this. We do a lot of different workshops in the extension office talking about food and nutrition, and they're to help people just be well overall. But we have so many people that are getting diagnosed with heart disease or diabetes at a much earlier age. We have a lot more people that are taking medications, whether it's cholesterol or blood pressure or even diabetes medication, that you could get off of these medications, improve your overall health, reduce your risk of diabetes, sleep better, feel better. Your bones, and joints won't ache as much because you're not maybe carrying all that extra weight there. So there's a variety of different things. First, we recommend that you get your A1C tested. This is kind of that average glucose there. Over the span of like a 3-month period. So if you go and you get your blood sugar tested, it's going to tell you what your blood sugar is at that moment. And that's going to vary depending on whether you've fasted in the morning or if you got up and you exercised or whatever else. But your A1C is checking on your blood glucose or an average of it for the past 3 months. It kind of, so it's not just, oh, I had a bad day, oh, it was Christmas and I didn't do so well that one day or something like that. It's going to be over the last 3 months. Now, we just got done with the holiday season. So the last 3 months might have been a sugar overload there. Okay. But now is a good time to get your A1C tested. We recommend, if you're not pre-diabetic or diabetic yet, at least, once a year, ask your doctor for that to see kind of where you are with those numbers. Also, don't forget the other numbers. Everyone's so focused on their weight when they get on the scale, but they forget of, hey, what is your blood pressure? What is your cholesterol? And what is your sugar? Those are the three main things that we want to test. We will, look in your weight as well, because that is a factor and makes you more at risk for diabetes. Now you might be listening, you're like, I've already got diabetes. It's too late for me. No, it's not too late. Diabetes is a lot like a lot of other illnesses. You're never going to be fully over it. I mean, you can get your numbers out of that diabetic range, but oftentimes I kind of compare a diabetic to an alcoholic, that you can get, your numbers out of that diabetic range, just like you can, be sober and stop drinking, but you're always at risk for falling off the wagon. You're always at risk for your blood sugar to go back up. It's kind of a lifetime, I don't want to say battle, but it's a lifetime, thing that you have to live with, that you have to take into consideration, that you get on this regimen or this routine of eating better and exercising, and if your body gets accustomed to that, and if you just suddenly stop exercising, like, I'm in the shape I want to be in, I'm done eating good and I'm done exercising, you're just going to put that weight back on. You're just going to raise your numbers again. That's why so many people do so much yo-yo dieting, is because they're just trying to, like, they have a small goal, a short-term goal of losing this weight, fitting into these pants again, getting ready for bathing suit season or that kind of stuff, but they're not thinking long term. I want you to find something that you can do for the rest of your life. So that's why I don't particularly recommend specific diets, because they're typically short term. You do a diet, and a lot of times they're extremely restrictive. You can't eat this or that entire food group. You have to, only have this many number of carbs or number of fat grams or whatever else per day, or you can only eat during this tiny little window of time to eat. Again, if one of those things work for you and it's something you can do for the rest of your life, then go for it, as long as it's not unsafe. If you're concerned about a particular thing that you want to do, talk to your medical professional, but I really recommend you talking with a registered dietitian. They keep up their certification. They are trained in nutrition, and they're always getting continuing education, finding out new, paying attention to the current science. And typically, your insurance will allow you to consult with a registered dietitian free of charge. There aren't any, to my knowledge, that like are practicing in person or Granville counties. But if you get a referral from your doctor, or even your insurance might have some, in their insurance, in your online portal or kind of thing, nutritionists or registered dietitians, there are a lot available through telehealth now that we have, whether you're calling them on the phone or you're doing it through the computer or you're, FaceTiming or something like that, that they don't have to live right here. They just can talk to you, and they can give you kind of a meal plan that works for you. They can talk with you about whatever struggles you've had, whatever physical, ailments or mobility issues you might have, and they can give you advice on how to deal with that. And they kind of work on that one-on-one kind of thing. So check with your insurance company, check with your little online, portal, and ask, hey, I bet you they have some kind of nutrition management, because trust me, the insurance companies would rather pay for you to talk to a registered dietitian than have to pay for these expensive, treatments or surgeries because your heart's not working or you're having diabetes issues or whatnot. So, but before we get a break for one of our sponsors, I want to let you know about one of our upcoming workshops. So this is for if it's our 6-week Living Healthy with Diabetes program. It is a diabetes self-management program, and we call it Living Healthy with Diabetes. This is for individuals who already have diabetes, or you can just be in the pre-diabetic range and you're just concerned and you want to make sure it doesn't get up to that level. But this is a 6-week program to help you learn how to manage your diabetes, or learn how to help, prevent diabetes. It's going to be offered at the extension office, and we're located at the Person County office building on 304 South Morgan Street. It's going to be on Tuesday afternoons, starting February 4th and going through March 11th, every Tuesday afternoon from 2 until 4 p.m. So this is a 2-hour class, but it's only 6 weeks. And in order to really get the most, bang for your buck, you really need to attend all of the classes, okay? Because every class, we're talking about 2 hours there. We're going to teach you new skills, new tools, new tricks, different things like that. And you can see on this flyer, if you're looking at the video here, that it's important because if you already are a diabetic, you have a lot of different symptoms. You have a lot of different feelings and emotions and struggles and different things like that, whether it's pain, fatigue, depression. It can cause issues, again, from your head to your toes. So we're going to teach you how to check your feet, how to monitor your blood sugar. Maybe you need to, you're also battling heart disease, so you need to look at your cholesterol too. If you are taking medications, some people have no problem taking medications. They get up and they just take the meds, no problem. Other people, it's a struggle to remember to take medications, or they don't have a schedule, especially if you're taking something more than once a day and you have such a sporadic schedule. It can be a little difficult there. And then we just work on everything that comes to your overall health. So yes, we're going to talk about healthy eating. We're going to talk about exercise. We're going to talk about stress management. We're going to talk about the sleep. We also are going to talk about just communication, about talking. a lot of times you're going through so many different things when you're dealing with a chronic disease like diabetes or heart disease or maybe cancer or something like that. And you forget the importance of communication. Maybe you talk to your friends, or maybe you don't want to bother them, so you don't want to give them any details. Or, I want to ask my doctor all these questions, but I don't know how, or don't feel comfortable, or I've got, this doctor and this doctor and this doctor, and it's just overwhelming. And I don't feel like there's a team. I feel like it's all disjointed. We talk about all of that in this 6-week program. It is a completely free program for you to attend. You just need to call and register. We do have limited spots for this because we still want to be able to kind of have that small group setting that we can really have a lot of brainstorming and a lot of good group discussions. But if you are interested in signing up for our Living Healthy with Diabetes 6-week series, that is free, and it's going to be on Tuesdays, February 4th through March 11th at the Person County Office Building from 2 to 4 p.m., then you need to call the Extension office at 336-599-1195. And you need to do that by the end of this month so that we have time to, get you registered and get all of our supplies and everything ready to go. And if you know a friend or someone else who is also maybe struggling with diabetes or pre-diabetes or something like that, register them, talk with them and register them too. It's really good to have a support system when you're going through something like this. And so to have a partner, even if it's a husband and wife, have, a couple come and do this class together, it really kind of it works much better if you have that team support at home. Anyway, we are going to take a brief break and get a word on from one of our sponsors, and we hope that you come back and join us after the break.
Finks Mechanical Services announces a new program for businesses offering cold beverages for sale. Convenience stores, bars, and restaurants can now be a part of the certified too cold to hold beverage locations. This program involves tuning refrigeration equipment, whether walk-in or freestanding, to the lowest possible temperature, just short of freezing, that is. Be one of the members of the Too Cold to Hold program by making the call to Finks Mechanical Services, 919-418-2557. Your customers will certainly appreciate that you did. And if you know of an establishment that could use colder beverages, be sure to tell them, give Fink a call. Call Finks Mechanical at 919-418-2557 and check out Finks Mechanical Services on Facebook to see a list of the certified too cold to hold beverage locations, and then you'll know where to get them ice cold. Finks Mechanical is licensed and services all commercial refrigeration equipment. With the new facility in Rougemont, they now offer refrigerated transport truck service. If you operate a refrigerated transport vehicle with Carrier Transcold, Thermo King, or any other brand unit, you can now have service and repairs done locally by Finks Mechanical Services.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gardener's Corner. Before the program, we talked about diabetes and why or what causes diabetes, some of the kind of the side effects, and how to manage it, such as attending our upcoming Living Healthy with Diabetes 6-week series. If you're interested in learning more, then please contact us at the Extension office at 336-599-1195. All of our flyers for all of our events are on our Facebook and Instagram page, which is at Person Granville FCS. Recently, we had a little bout of winter weather, and we've got some more expected over the next, couple of weeks. We might get hit with a couple of different things. So we want to talk to you about the importance of staying safe in cold weather, because it's important to stay warm when it's cold. Hypothermia, is something that we don't want you to ever, have to deal with there. But oftentimes when we were young, we would go outside and we would play for hours, and it's like the cold never bothered us there. But sometimes as we get older, especially older adults, you can lose body heat fast. Even just a simple little big chill outside can turn very dangerous there, and that can cause hypothermia. It's what happens when your body temperature gets very, very low. And if you're an older adult, it can also cause a lot of health problems. Or if you already have certain health problems, such as heart disease or diabetes or any of this stuff, it can make some of that much worse. So we want you to be safe, whether you're outside or you're just inside your home there, so that you are limiting the chances of you getting hypothermia or getting, sick or anything like that. So no matter where you live, we want you to keep warm. Especially if you're sick. Oftentimes, if you're already sick or under the weather, or maybe you've been sick previously and you're still somewhat recovering, you're not quite 100%. Because I know if you're like me, when I get sick, it can take weeks or even like a month or two before I really feel back to normal there. So now I know that money can also be an issue, and you don't want to crank that heat up or whatever else. If you are using, space heaters or wood stoves or any other kind of stuff, we want you to make sure that you are being safe. You're, following all of the manufacturer's guidelines for any piece of equipment. You're listening to, fire department recommendations when it comes to your fireplace. You're also being very careful with the ashes from your fireplace. Oftentimes, people will, this time of year, they take their ashes and they just throw them outside and they think that's fine. It's cold or it's snowed. There's not going to be a problem. And I can tell you from experience, just because my husband works with this, but it can start wildfires. So don't, please follow all guidelines of how to dispose of that or how to use any of your equipment that you do use. Keeping your heat inside, to earn to at least, 68 to 70 degrees, maybe closing off rooms that you're not using, like actually even closing the vent there. Um, or put a rolled towel in front of the door so that you're not getting a draft coming out of that. Recently, we had a problem with our HVAC, our heating system, and we ended up having to get a new one. But just trying to heat the house with space heaters, and I mean, I was closing every door. We were putting stuff so that we weren't trying to heat the entire house. We were just trying to heat the middle part of the house where we hung out. Or maybe, putting a heater in our bedroom before we went to sleep to warm that up so it wasn't freezing when we went in there. Different little things like that. Having your home kind of checked or inspected to make sure you're not losing heat through the windows there. Keeping those blinds, keeping the curtains, keeping the doors closed. I know that this time of year it can get kind of dark early. So when I get home, I want to open all the blinds, I want to open all the doors. I want as much light in here as long as I can get light in here. So it kind of goes against that there. So and I'm always dressed for the weather. My kids will be sitting around the house in like shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm like, what? I'm just colder than they are there. But I'd much rather put on more clothes than crank that heater up and have to pay for that too. So we have a variety of different blankets over the years. I think everyone in my house has a blanket of their own, so everyone can stay warm as well. Um, when the weather is cold, it is suggested that you avoid alcohol because it can actually make you lose body heat. I didn't realize that. Whenever you go outside, you want to make sure you're wearing layers there. So that, maybe it's North Carolina, we can have a variety of different seasons all in one day. But I go outside and at first I'm like, oh, it's really cold, it's really brisk. But the more I walk, the more I build up that body heat. and the more I may be able to like shed a layer off. So, I'll have a sweater, sweatshirt I can tie around my waist or something. There's a variety of different things. If you live by yourself, or maybe you're older adult, having someone check on you. I mean, it could just be a phone call. They don't actually have to show up there. But especially if this time of year too, it's not just the snow we have to deal with or the cold, but it's the power outages caused by ice there. So don't forget your neighbors or your family and friends there. If you are outside, again, dressing for that weather, loose layers of clothing, the air between those layers actually can help you keep warm. You want to make sure you're not forgetting your hat too, because we lose so much body heat from our head and even our neck. So a scarf is good. It doesn't have to be a high dollar thing. I mean, just it's something to cover your head and something to go around your neck there. I recently had to purchase new snow or like waterproof jackets, as well as, pants or bibs or boots or whatever else, so that when my kids are outside, because they'll just go outside and play for hours in the snow, that they are staying warm there. Again, if you need to talk with your doctor to ask maybe what are signs of hypothermia. Certain medications could also make hypothermia a problem. You could make you more at risk or make the symptoms of hypothermia affect you so much more there. If you like to be physically active outside, there are plenty of ways to do that, even in this cold, whether it's just going for a walk or again, talking to your doctor about what they recommend to be physically active if you like being outdoors. I mean, I love going to the park, but it's cold and I have to time it. So I'm like, instead of going to the park and walking in the trails where there's all these trees and I'm not getting any sunlight, we're gonna go to the park or we're just gonna walk uptown Main Street there. So there's always a lot of sunlight there. I'm getting maybe that vitamin D from it. I'm getting a little warmth. I'm paying attention to which areas. Oh, it's very windy down this street or down this whatever else. There's all these buildings, down Main Street. It could be that just walking down that road creates a tunnel. So maybe I need to be a little bit more careful there. If you are, interested in a little bit more information, we have information to provide you on staying warm and signs and symptoms of hypothermia there, but I'll just run through a couple of them right now. Of course, cold feet and cold hands, a puffy or swollen face, your skin kind of actually gets a little bit pale. You can be shivering, but in some cases, you might not be shivering. Slower than normal speech, or you're kind of slurring your words a little bit. It could be that you're just like, oh, I'm acting really sleepy. I'm really tired. Or it could be almost like you're hangry, you're angry, or you're confused. And as those early signs start to progress, you're just going to get even more of that. You're going to be moving very slowly, having trouble walking. Um, you're going to have jerky, movements there because your heartbeat is slowing down, your breath is becoming more shallow, you're even could be close to blacking out or losing conscious. If you see someone experiencing any of these signs or you feel, call 911 and get them medical assistance as soon as you can. You want to, after you've called 911, try to move that person to a warmer place, wrap them in a warm blanket, towels, coats, whatever you have available, even your own body warmth, lying close, but you want to be very careful or gentle or whatever. Giving them something warm to drink, but again, we want to avoid alcohol or even caffeine as well. So not like coffee there, unless it's decaf. You don't want to rub the person's legs or arms, or don't try to put them in a bath or even use a heating pad. Those things are not recommended there. If you have other health conditions, which many of us do, it can make it harder to maintain a normal body temperature, such as thyroid problems, which so many individuals, especially women, have. It makes it harder to maintain a normal body temperature. Diabetes can even keep your blood from flowing the way it needs to. And that flow is also going to help create warmth. If you have an individual who has some form of dementia, that can cause a person to maybe go outside without the right clothing because they're not thinking right. they don't know what they need, or maybe they're just not functioning enough to be like, oh, I'm cold there. Certain body medicines can lower your body temperature. Talk with your pharmacist about your medication or read what some of the side effects are there. Um, Again, we recommend getting your your home tested or checked to see where you're losing heat. If there's gaps around windows, you could caulk stuff, or there's weather stripping, or just different things. Again, be very careful with space heaters because those can be a fire hazard. They can cause carbon monoxide poisoning. There's just different things that you want to be aware of. So read your manufacturer's guidelines for any piece of equipment that you have there. And just don't forget, you know, uh, putting that thermometer on in your house at a certain temperature so it's keeping it kind of at a good level, that it's not too cold, but it's warm enough that at least I can just put on a little light jacket or a sweater or long pants or something in my home, and I'm good there. That I'm wearing layers. I wear layers a lot just because the different buildings that I work at or go to, I never know what the temperature's gonna be. It could be when it's burning up outside, it's freezing. It's like an ice box inside my work, or vice versa. When it's freezing outside, it's boiling inside. Um, I've had it where I go somewhere and it's really warm. The heat's pumping really good in the morning because they know it's cold outside. And then it's like sometime around 10 a.m., I swear someone shuts the heat off, and they think it's going to last for the rest of the day. And then I'm freezing the rest of the day. I've been in different offices where I almost have to sit there with my gloves just to be able to type because I'm constantly rubbing my hands back and forth or blowing on my hands to keep them warm. Um, we have different regulations in our buildings. If we do have a little heater near our desk or whatnot, not leaving it on while I leave the room. I have to tell my children because they'll do something or have something in their room, and I'm like, you need to turn that off when you leave the room. It's no different there. Be very careful with candles. If you're trying to if you lose power and you're trying to light your area there, limit your exposure outside. Go outside, play for a certain amount of time, and then come inside and have a nice hot chocolate break or something. Or just come inside and warm back up, get your body temperature kind of where it needs to be, and then go back out. Don't forget all of the other parts of your clothing. Like I said, I'll buy my kids some nice weatherproof pants or a weatherproof jacket, and they're out there, and it's like, where are your gloves? Where's your hat? Where's your scarf? All these things that I bought them, and they're somewhere else. Or they might have them, but they've taken them off. I'm like, why are your gloves like over here on the snow? And I understand sometimes if you're doing something, it's you might need your hands to do, but put your gloves back on, especially if you're playing in the snow. Making sure that your gloves are snowproof if you're going to do that. I mean, not just normal gloves that are cloth, and then when you touch something, they get soaking wet, and then your fingers are freezing because it's holding in that cold. Just a little bit of money at the beginning to make sure. And as your kids or as you get older or whatever, our size doesn't change too much. I mean, again, the kids are always growing and evolving, but um they're kind of old enough. Mine are old enough now that they're kind of set for a little while there. Or they're at different sizes. Someone's a small, someone's a medium, someone's a large. So as everyone grows, they're just growing into the next size so they can wear their sibling size. So watching what colors of clothes I get so that I can reuse some of that clothing, or my children can even share some of my stuff. There's a variety of information that we can provide on staying warm, on maybe trying to lower your heating bill, contacting your electric company as well. They have a variety of different programs or discounts or just little things that you might not think about, that, wow, I didn't know that I could have been applying for assistance for this or whatever else. So if you want to reach out, you can always reach out to the National Institute on Aging or the Department of Health and Human Services when it comes to your overall health, and that includes hypothermia. So we're going to take another brief break and get another word on from one of our sponsors.
Are you tired of looking at the dirt, grime, and mildew on your home, garage, RV equipment, driveway, and/or your sidewalk? Call on a family-owned and operated business to fix that problem. Contact M&J Pressure Washing Service, 336-951-7836 or 336-459-8494. M&J Pressure Washing Service proudly serves Person and Caswell counties. Their services include pressure washing, trash removal, junk pickup, and haul-away services. Contact Marion Jackson, 336-951-7836 or Jerry Jackson, 336-459-8494. Visit the website mjpressurewashingservice.com or visit their social page, M&J Pressure Washing Service.
T.G. Brooks Supply Company wishes you a successful 2025. We probably will get a taste of more real winter and cold winter days and nights in January, which suggests a trip out to T.G. Brooks Supply Company, 411 Helena Maria Road in Timberlake. Cold weather needs are found just like furnace filters, stovepipe, pipe insulation, plastic to put around your windows, also water heater elements, thermostats, pressure relief valves, ice melt, bird seed, and sunflower and black oil seeds, and shovels in case we have snow. They have wedges, axes, and mauls for getting stove wood in. They have gloves, lined and unlined in leather and cloth. They are your first choice for well pumps, piping, pump wire, and pipe fittings. They carry cast iron cookware, plenty of dog food, and 100% kiln-dried cedar shavings. They also have dog kennels. You might need an outdoor thermometer. Plan to spend a little time at T.G. Brooks Supply Company talking about warmer days in a couple of months and getting information on your future lawn and garden plans. Soon we will be talking about putting out pre-emergent weed control. Come to this place that people like to shop from all over the region, including Maybell's Boutique across the street. Maybell's Boutique, a family business featuring children's clothing, shoes, and other nice selections for children's heading into 2025. Faithful to the homeowner, farmer, and construction worker since 1936. Phone anytime you need advice at 364-3016. Remember this in our new year: everything works out when you have a T.G. Brooks Supply Company day. No week is complete without a visit to T.G. Brooks Supply Company and Maybell's Boutique.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gardener's Corner. I'm Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. We have talked about staying warm in this winter time. We've also talked about diabetes. So now we want to let you know about some of our upcoming programs that we have scheduled within the Extension office. First of all, you can find our virtual workshops on our Eventbrite page by scanning the QR code. You can also go onto our Facebook and Instagram pages and follow and like us online. It's at Person Granville FCS. It's our food for thought page. We have all of our flyers for both Person and Granville counties there, and we hope that you can join us at some of our programs. So we're just going to kind of go through some of them to let you know about some of the things that we have currently scheduled. So first up is our Spice Up Your Life program. This is our first workshop of our Extension at Home series. Myself, along with several other Extension agents across the district, are doing a monthly series where one of us teaches a workshop each month, or we get a guest speaker to talk about food, health, wellness, finances, anything that falls in that whole family consumer science umbrella there. And the first one to start off 2025 is going to be on herbs and spices, because we want you to spice up your life and use some different herbs and spices instead of always grabbing that salt shaker. So we hope that you can join us virtually next Tuesday. They're going to be on the third Tuesdays of each month at 10 a.m. Now, I know for some of you, you might already have a prior commitment. You might be working at that time and you can't join us, but we want to encourage you to go ahead and register for the workshop anyway. We are going to record all of these sessions and we will email them to you that afternoon with the recording, any handouts, and we'll let you know about the upcoming workshops as well. So for this month with Spice Up Your Life, we're going to discuss different herbs and spices, health benefits, food pairings, and even explore some new recipes that use herbs and spices, because we know that cooking with herbs and spices will help you reduce your risk for certain types of chronic illnesses, such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and even diabetes. So you can scan that QR code on the screen if you're there, or again, all of our links are at our Facebook page or Instagram page, and join us for this virtual workshop. If you want to come to an in-person workshop that we are having, we've got a couple of those as well. So first, one of my coworkers, Ashley Cummings, she is our digital skills extension agent. She is going to be teaching a workshop next Wednesday morning at 10:45 at the Preston County Public Library. She teaches a variety of workshops in both Person and Granville counties at either the libraries or the senior centers, as well as she does one-on-one sessions. So if you have specific questions and you need someone to help you with your technology or your digital skills, you could call and just make an appointment with her for a one-on-one consultation. But this particular workshop that'll be next Wednesday at 10:45 at the library is on my chart. So we're all familiar with the fact that we have a, Duke My Chart or UNC My Chart or some kind of chart from our healthcare provider, some sort of portal of some kind. And she is going to provide information about how to navigate that health record portal, how it can, you can do it on your phone, you can do it on a computer, whatever, and it'll have all of your health information. Because I know that sometimes when I'm teaching a workshop, certain of our classes have requirements. You have to, I need to know what your blood pressure, your BMI, your blood sugar, A1C, whatever that is. And oftentimes people are like, well, I don't know how to find that. I'm like, it's on your My Chart, on your portal, which you should have access to. And your portal is also really good to, when I get sick, I use it to schedule an appointment. Sometimes that appointment can be in person or it can be virtual or by telephone, but it's very difficult sometimes to get somebody on the phone that this way I can just do it through the portal, either through the app or a website too. And sometimes you just have questions. I don't need to go to my doctor, but I just need to ask them something. And it has where you can send them like a little chat or a little message, and maybe they can just answer your question really quickly. So you don't have to schedule an entire appointment for something. Because we always want to encourage you to have that kind of communication with your doctors and your pharmacists and your whole healthcare team. As we continue on into the new year, we are going to be, we have one more workshop scheduled for Granville County. It is our Exercise Within Reach workshop. This is going to be on Thursday, January 30th at 1 p.m. at the South Granville Branch Library in Creedmoor. Our Exercise Within Reach workshop is just that. We know that a lot of people maybe can't afford, or you just don't want to go be a part of a gym. You've tried a gym, maybe you weren't successful, maybe you're intimidated by gyms, maybe just whatever it might be. And we want to say, you know what, that's okay. Many exercises can be done within your own home. Physical activity is a essential part of having a good and healthy well-being and lifestyle, and just making slight changes. You don't have to go and have like a gym at your house. You don't have to go buy all this expensive equipment. Everybody was doing that during COVID because they couldn't go to an actual gym. And we're just going to tell you about if even just small things that if you want to purchase, there are a variety of different apps that you can do, even just walking. We know that this time of year, a lot of people maybe aren't as physically active outdoors, but maybe they that's how they like being outdoors, and they don't exercise as much during this time of year because of that. We also know that it's sweatshirt season. We love wearing our nice, baggy pants and sweatshirts and stuff to stay warm, and then we don't care as much about being in shape and being, physically active. And it is a vital part of your overall health and well-being, especially if you suffer from a chronic illness. We want to encourage you to reach out to either a person of Granville County Senior Centers as well as the Parks and Rec departments in both counties, because both of these places have so many wonderful opportunities for you to be physically active. I mean, just the parks themselves, where you can just go out and walk a trail, but they have classes, and you might not be aware of that. You might not be aware of the variety of different classes that they have either at Parks and Rec and or the senior center. The variety that they have includes, I mean, if you want to get up and move and do some, like not quite kickboxing, but, some kind of a high intensity interval training, or, some kind of upbeat cardio group fitness class, versus I just want to do some yoga, or I want to do some Pilates, or I just want to sit in a chair and do some weights or cardio drumming or something like that. Both counties have a wide variety of opportunities and classes that you can attend, and we highly recommend them as well. So that is just one of the workshops that we've got planned for the rest of this month that will be in person. And we want to encourage you also to register for our upcoming Living Healthy with Diabetes program. This class is going to be held in Person County, but even if you're in Granville County, if you're willing to make the drive, come on. Now, we want you to register for it, so you do need to call the Person County Extension Office at 336-599-1195. Again, this is our Living Healthy with Diabetes workshop. We talked about it earlier in our Gardener's Corner program. We want to highlight as well, because we still have a couple more spots available. If you have type 2 diabetes, or if you are even just pre-diabetic there and you want to make sure you don't get into that diabetic range, this program is definitely for you. It's going to be weekly for 6 weeks on Tuesday afternoons from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We have even had people that, since it's just one day a week for 6 weeks, we've had people take off of work, or take half days, or, work something out with their boss so they can make up this time so that they can come, because they know how important and how vital it is to take care of their health there. We're going to talk about a variety of different topics in here with regards to diabetes, because as I mentioned earlier in the program, it affects you from your head to your toes. It can cause complications with your kidneys. We've got I had talked with an individual before at one of the local dialysis unit, and they were like 40% of the people that we see are there because of diabetes. Every time I go to my eye doctor, I'm reminded when they're asking, do I want to have this test or that test or whatever done? They're looking for some type of eye problems caused by diabetes or pre-diabetes. And they want to catch it as early as they can, because that could, hinder your ability to do things, to drive, to walk. And if you're having problems seeing or depth perception, then you could fall because your eyesight is poor. And if you're older and break something, I mean, there's so many different things that can be affected by your diabetes. So call the Person County Extension Office, 336-599 1195 to see if you can register for this Living Healthy with Diabetes program that starts on February 4th and goes for 6 weeks. And this program is a collaboration between the Extension Office and the Percy County Health Department. So we hope that you can join us for that. Again, we always, this time of year, we're encouraging you to be safe with regards to the cold weather. We also want to make sure that you are prepared for, disasters or for that inclement weather. And every year around this time, whether we're calling for snow or not, we know that individuals aren't always as prepared as they need to be. So if you feel like, hey, we dodged a bullet this past weekend with the snowstorm, it wasn't that bad, go ahead and prepare. Don't wait until the last minute. And no, I'm not talking about going and buying as much milk or bread as you possibly can fit in your house. I'm talking about making sure that you have batteries for things, that you have a radio, that you have a fully charged cell phone, as well as maybe cell phone battery packs. You have enough water for you and your family for each day. I mean, again, plan to be stranded or without power for 5 days or so, making sure that you have enough water for that, making sure if you do have a generator, that you are handling it safely. It's not right next to your house, or you don't have unsafe heaters that you're using. You're not leaving them going all the time, that you have enough propane or gasoline or whatever for your outdoor grill, as well as the generator, making sure that you have proper clothing, making sure you've got things that you don't even think about. This weekend started and I was like, oh, I went to the grocery store and I got like a couple of things. And I was like, I forgot the dog food. Like, I mean, I had maybe 2 or 3 days worth of dog food. So I'm like, okay, I think we'll be okay. My husband doesn't mind driving the snow or the ice or whatever else. And we have one vehicle that's 4-wheel drive, but just simple things like that. Like, don't forget the other people in your house. Okay, I need to make sure I have extra formula. I have medicine for the kids if they start feeling sick. If I have a prescription that's set to run out, that I already have that that refill ready, and I go in and pick it up, so that I'm not getting stuck somewhere and I don't have the medication that I need for whatever kind of illness I might have. There's a variety of things. We really recommend that you go online to like ready.gov, and they have a lot of disaster preparedness information. They have a list of things that you could put in your disaster preparedness kit. With regards to food safety this time of year, we always try to post on our Facebook page, which again, you can find us online at Person Grable FCS on our Food for Thought page. But we try to post our handouts about food safety. Like, okay, this is how you prepare, for a possible power outage. This is what you do during the power outage. This is what you do after the power outage. And this is what food is safe, what food you can still keep, how long it lasts. Having a thermometer for your refrigerator as well as your freezer, so that even if you lose power, what temperature it gets up to. There's a variety of different things. We have all of these handouts are available at our extension office in both Person and Granville counties. If you need any information, please don't reach out. You can, again, send us a private message on our Facebook page. You can give us a call at either extension office. You can shoot me an email at jennifer.brown@ncsu.edu. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the Gardener's Corner. We appreciate you and your time. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll get another word from one of our sponsors. See you guys next week.
Do you have those annoying potholes in your driveway? Need some driveway regrading? Or maybe you just need some new gravel? Give JT Allison a call. Jody has been in business for over 25 years, specializing in driveway grading and hauling gravel. He also does all types of small tractor work and some backhoe and bush hogging work. Jody strives to do a top-notch job and to make sure that you, the customer, is always happy. Whether it's a small job or a big job, we have multiple truck sizes to accommodate your needs. Here at JT Allison, we appreciate your business. Check us out on Facebook at JT Allison LLC or give us a call at 336-583-6250. Jody and Kim Allison. We are rocking the county one load at a time.